Hey, call me. So our boy Mark Prince, absolutely loves you. His three favorite players. Thank God he wasn't a scout now. Call me. His three favorite players are Rhett Warner, Mike Commodore, and Shane O'Brien. So thank God he's not fucking scouting. But he put in our notes here. Is this accurate that Babs wouldn't even let Colby practice properly as a 7D man and would blow the whistle down every chance Colby would start a drill?
Oh yeah, 100% true. So every single time. So let's say we were doing like a 2-on-1 drill. I'm the 7D, so I'm like, I'm going to go 7. So I would go, and it's always 2 times through or whatever. So I would get to go once, and then it would go again. The 6 guys would go twice. It'd be my turn. Blow the drill down. I'm like, dude, this is a joke. This guy won't even let me practice. Honestly, I would say through all the bullshit, I am, in a way, I'm grateful for my time in Detroit because I met some great people. Babs, I was like, after the first 3 weeks, I'm like, man, this is it for me. I tell you what, I'm not going to let this guy make me miserable, like a miserable person. So I just made the most of it. I had great times on the ice with Pavel Datsyuk. He always did that one-on-one shit in the neutral zone, and I was like his number one partner. So I couldn't wait for that because I'm like, let's go, Pav. But yeah. That is exactly true. He wouldn't even let me practice. I mean, there was one game where he it was such a joke. So we were on the island, and I'm not playing. I mean, this guy was literally calling guys up from the minors to keep me scratched. So I'm not playing. Anyways, 3 hours before the game, my phone's ringing. I'm just laying in bed, and Pav was sick. So we're going to go with 7D. There was nobody else to play, and the game was in 3 hours. So Mike, you got to get over here. So I get over there. I put my stuff on. I'm like, okay, perfect. This is a chance or whatever. I got to do something. I sit on the bench the entire first period, not one shift. Fuck. The entire second period, not one shift. Halfway through the second, I'm like, obviously I'm not playing. I'm like, man, my feet are killing me.
Yeah.
So I undo my skates, and I took one of them off because I'm like, Hamonic saw this. He was playing for the Islanders. I think he was a rookie. I am checked out. We go into the second intermission. We were losing the game. I think we were getting kind of pounded. Anyways, Babs pulls me aside as I'm walking into the dressing room, and he's like, hey, take your shit off, get a bike ride in. I'm like, yeah, sounds good, Babs. These guys all go out. I take my shit off. Third period's going. These trainers come running in. I'm on the bike spinning the tires there a little bit. And trainers come running in. They're like, hey, hey, Tommy, what are you doing? I go, what do you mean, what am I doing? He's like, Babs is all over the radio right now screaming about where you are. You were supposed to play. I'm like, hey, fellas, Babs specifically told me to take my shit off and pedal this bike. I go, you tell him to kiss my ass. I ain't coming back out there. It's too late. And that's the kind of shit he would pull. And then as soon as I got in on the bus after the game, right, it's him and Ken Holland sitting up front, Babs would try and embarrass me in front of Ken. And I stopped right there. I go, tell you what, Babs? Don't pull your bullshit with me. You told me to take my shit off and ride the bike. So that's exactly what I did. Don't fucking lie in front of these guys. And he just kind of shut up. I went to the back and was high-fived with a couple of guys because they loved it. What a fucking experience.
That's a bad guy.
But that reminds me of the shit I went with Harley. They're the same kind of shit, man. But you think you let you practice maybe because you get roasted on a 2-on-1 or something. You might be like, see, Colby, that's why you're not playing.
Yeah, get the boys
right,
make them feel good.
You stink. Datsyuk just went backdoor to Zetterberg. That's why you're not playing, bud. I knew Harley.
Yeah, he wouldn't even let me practice. I was out there wearing I made the most of it. I was out there, I think after probably a month, I put a visor on for fun, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this visor that Ovechkin wears. So I'm out there in a tinted visor. I mean, I just kind of had fun. And the guys fucking loved it because they knew what was going on. It was it didn't matter what happened. I wasn't playing until finally January. But yeah, it was a total catastrophe, and I knew it right away too.
So did you finish off the year? Did you start playing the second half, or how did it end for you there? I can't quite remember. How did it come to it? Did you finish the year?
Yeah, it's not memorable. So 2 days we went in. We had a game on December 22nd against Vancouver, and December 23rd in Vancouver, and then back-to-back. The second one was in Calgary. So I'm like, I'm not playing. So we go on the road, and I'd be like, all right, who do I know in town here? Let's fucking get it going here a little bit. And I work hard every day. Babs wouldn't let me practice, but I'm like, look, I'm gonna work my ass off. So I'd run the stairs, Joe, and I would do my own thing, and I would just go about my business. So we went into Vancouver and we got spanked like 5-0. And I didn't know this till after. I was sitting on the plane about to pour myself a big glass of wine because we're going to Calgary. Like, I'm going out. And Babs comes back. He's like, hey, call me. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're in tomorrow. And I literally laughed. Like, oh, yeah. He goes, you're in. They walked back up to the front. Bertuzzi and Cleary, they're like, you're in. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, I haven't played in forever. Like, I'm a little nervous right now. So anyways, what happened, was Ken Holland pulled Mike Babcock aside on the tarmac before we got on the plane and said, I don't give a shit. And he never did this, but he stood up for me a little bit. It's like, I don't give a shit if we have to scratch Nick Lidstrom tomorrow. Mike is playing. So I played against Calgary. I played well, got in a fight or whatever. Like, I was just keeping it simple, as simple as can be. And I'm just like, get it out, take the body, this and that, don't turn it over.
Stick on puck.
And I played pretty good. Stick on puck, big time.
Stick on puck.
Changes too.
Hit the low and slow guy.
Go, boys. Go.
Yeah. Come on, Nick, you can come back out here. And I ended up playing well. So Babs let me play probably like, I want to say it was like 12 or 14 games in a row. And then it got back to the scratch thing. And then Ken traded me to Tampa.